Okay. So we are live on Facebook. And here we go. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's Real Talk Table. Man, this one, we're just sitting around our tables and we're just going to have a super duper conversation. It's just, I'm so excited. I'm sure everyone has heard about I call it the expedition. I'll just tell my husband, I said, this one is an expedition. Driving from Ghana to England is an adventure. And so this evening I have with me the one and only Sharon, who is the mother and the wife. Oh my goodness, you're like a double whammy with me. And we're just going to have a conversation about the whole thing. And so, Sharon, I know everybody knows you, but just before we go into the nitty-gritty of stuff, who is Sharon? For me, I say you are the mother of Quincy and the wife of Franklin. But hey, who is Sharon?
I'm Sharon Sharpe Peters, a wife, a mother of 3. I own my own company. Happy go lucky.
Absolutely.
That's me.
I like that. I like the way she said happy go lucky. Let's sing. That is life.
No pressure.
We do what we can. No pressure. We do what we can and then we leave the rest to chance. You know what? Sharon, this evening I'm so excited. Thank you so much for this. I just told you this morning, can we have a conversation? And you're like, yes, let's go. And I like what you said. You said, I did for you. And so thank you so much for daying for me. I want us to just have this conversation. Okay. This is like, I call it history. I mean, someone said, oh, this is not history, but to me, it is history. They've made history. Apart from the other guys, I'm not even talking about them and the young lady that was with them, but I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your husband and your son. So when they said to you they were going to go on this adventure, how did you feel? Were you like, go for it? You're like, hey, what do you think you're saying? How did you feel when they said that to you?
I think in the whole beginning, I didn't think it was a reality. I didn't think it will happen.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of guys. It was over 20 guys in the beginning who said they were going to do this. And I kept telling my husband, knowing Ghanaians, by the time comes, everybody will have a reason and they will end up being maybe only 4 or 5. And then he kept saying, even if it's left to 4 or 5, he will be the number 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really think it would happen till the day they were really leaving. And I saw him pack. Even the nights before, he was like, pack for me. I still didn't even have the vim. Till the next day, he's like, they were supposed to have left on a Sunday, but they realized if they leave on a Saturday, it would make, that's my other son behind me. I'm on call. Where are you going?
Hello. Of course, you should be proud to his brother.
Yeah, you should have. I actually have 2 sons, and I was trying to see if both of them would go. The reason why is that I felt if the 2 went, my oldest who went would have had a better time because it was just adults. And then if they were going to have dinner or they were catching up, then he could like have a good time with his brother. But I said everything I could. And the one who just said hi said, even if I pay him, he wouldn't go. Because he didn't see why he should sit in a car for 8-9 hours just like that instead of playing PlayStation. So he won't go.
Right? I don't blame him.
He didn't go. Yeah, but so they were supposed to have left on a Sunday, and then they realized that if they did Saturday, there won't be too much stress on them on the Sunday. So as they were leaving on Saturday, I still didn't believe it actually, but we had hugs, kisses, took pictures, and then they set off. It was kind of scary though, but I don't know. They've made it. That's the most important.
Man, honestly, I'm just thinking, if it was me, I would say, okay, maybe my husband can go, but my son, I'm just thinking, my son is home on vacation. He should be with me instead of being on the road for 16 days or for as long as. And the thing is, they drive for a very long time at a go, isn't it? So maybe like 9, 8, 10 hours per day.
They were doing an average 8 to 10 hours a day. And then I remember telling my son, don't sleep, keep your father company, because the other cars had a minimum of 2 or 3 drivers in. Right. So if my son hadn't gone, my husband would have been the only one driving. Ooh. And that would be just too much for him. And knowing my husband, he would never let anybody else drive him. But my son helped when they went into Europe. In Africa, he wasn't. My husband wasn't confident in him driving in Africa because of the roads, just in case and all that. So my husband did just the driving all by himself. And then when they crossed to Europe, Quincy did most of the driving in Europe. So my husband could rest. Yes.
Wow. Hi, son. You should have gone as well. But come on. Let's have a conversation. So how do you feel about your dad and your brother? How do you feel about that?
They're getting famous. That's what I wanted to do. And I made TikTok.
His only regret is that he would have been famous and he would have been a big TikToker.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing.
Well, you should have gone. It would have made you very popular, because now Quincy is all over the news on BBC. He's on all the other channels, And yesterday, when they went into the consulate, unfortunately, I couldn't go. So one of my friends did a live. That's what I shared with the link with you. That, hey, look at your family. And I was just watching it. I was so excited. And I'm thinking, if me that I'm so excited, how much more Sharon? How would she feel? It's her husband, and not just her husband, but the son as well. I mean, I just call it a double whammy. It's just, I mean, come on, the two most precious people in your life. I mean, apart from the other 2 at home, these ones are on the road, and you're thinking anything can happen. So you have the ifs and buts and doubts and all that.
Yeah, I did. I had all it. It was kind of scary, especially in the African part. I don't know why I was scared during the African part and not in the Europe part. I think the main reason was sometimes they could go for hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours without network. And that was like the scary part where, okay, how do you just wave and go?
I see her.
They all want to be famous now, eh?
Yeah. So now your whole family is actually famous, because dad and brother, man, they're all famous now.
So the scary part was where I'll try to call them, and then I avoid calling, because you don't want to call somebody driving just to distract them. So I would call my son instead, and then for 4 or 5 hours, sometimes there's no network, and that was like the scary part where you were like, what has happened? What is going on? And then the minute you get to hear from them, and then they were like, oh, we are here, we are doing well, then you rest assured for a while till another couple of hours before you hear from them.
Wow. Wow. This is, man, someone says, hey Sharon, that was a serious chess game. Honestly, it is like you're putting your queen on the chessboard, man. Girl, you should be proud of yourself. You're very strong. Someone said that. Where is it? I can't actually see who, if you don't allow StreamYard to access you, I can't see who you are. You just come on as a Facebook user, so I wouldn't know who you are. But I read somewhere that says, Sharon, you're a strong woman, and I think you are, because honestly, you. I like this one. Let me show you what the person says. The person says, honestly, I want to check your heart. You think
the heart's solid.
Wow.
It is solid. Yeah.
How was your preparation like? How was your son's preparation? Because he's home on vacation. So how did he prepare to go on this let me use my own words, the expedition. How did
Okay, so what they did was they did 2 different journeys before going on the real one.
All right.
The first one they did was they drove to Togo.
Okay.
just to get familiar with how crossing one border would be, the time it would take, the frustration.
I think I've lost you.
That
Oh, no, 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 no. Sharon, please come back. I've lost you. But guys, listen, she's gonna try and reconnect very soon. Maybe she got a phone call or something happened, but she's gonna come back on soon. Get all your questions. Let's try and ask her as much as we can. The reason why I'm interviewing her and not the husband and the son is because everybody is doing the interview with the husband and the son and leaving the woman out. And I think that she's done very, very well in allowing her husband and the son to go on this adventure. For me, I use the word expedition because I think it is for them to drive through so many African countries, cross into Europe, drive through Spain and to Switzerland and all these other areas before finally coming into from Calais into Dover. Dover is in the England. So like getting in, driving. This is amazing. All right,
I
Sharon is
lost you
back.
for a
I
second
lost her.
here.
Yes, I lost you for a moment.
Yeah, a call came in, and then when I declined the call, it took everything off. Yeah, yeah,
All right, that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so like I was saying, they first did a drive to Togo and then spent a night there just to see how it would be like. And then that was like a month before they went. And then 2 weeks before they went, they used the Ivory Coast side because that was where they were going to do. So they drove into Ivory Coast just to test.
Okay, I think another call has come through again.
I've declined it already. The phone is not the phone hasn't stopped ringing. People I
I don't
haven't
think you
spoken
will.
to
Yes.
in years are just calling with well wishes and all that. It's been overwhelming. It really has.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm. Mhm.
Honestly, you've done fantastically well. And before you came back on, I was saying that a lot of people are interviewing your husband and your son because they're the ones that went on the expedition, like I say, and they're not talking to you. But for me, I want to talk to you. I want to hear how you feel. I want to hear how, I mean, the whole preparations, my son and my husband going away. Would I be okay? Would I be able to sleep? How am I feeling? All right, now they're in England now, so now you know they're safe. Now your
Yeah.
heart is at rest. But between they crossing the channel from France or from Calais into Dover, that was like the final lap for them to get in, and all the party started and all.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Because I'm sure you were like adrenaline was flowing through you. How were you feeling? Because now they've left Africa. They're in Europe. How did you feel?
Um, I didn't think I thought it would be dangerous. I didn't have any negative. I wasn't that scared because they actually did a lot of research before
Mm,
going. And they have people who have done not the whole trip, but they have people who have done maybe here to Mali before, or somebody who has done Mali to Senegal before. So
mm,
they knew what to expect.
yeah.
And they had actually sat down to say, in case this happens, what will we do? So, for
Yeah.
example, they even had in mind that in case any of the cars goes down, they would leave the cars there, they will join the other cars. I mean, they had thought about any possibility that would
Right.
happen.
Right.
And worst scenario, if they got somewhere and they wouldn't be able to go, they would either ship the cars, they will fly back. So it was like there was what should I say? It's not like
Proper
nobody
planning.
sent
They've
them.
actually planned the
Yes.
whole trip. So how
Yeah.
long did
So
it take
it's
for them to plan this journey?
the whole group of guys, except my husband, have been planning this for years, and they were supposed to have done this in 2018 before
Right.
the COVID hit. But my
Right.
husband was not part of that. My husband met this gentleman just a few months ago.
Oh, for real?
Yes, he knew them on like they have a lot of common friends.
Yeah.
But I think a conversation from one person to the other said, "Hey, these guys are doing this." And my husband
Mm.
loves to drive. My husband loves cars. My husband loves adventure. So he just met them and they didn't even think he would go because they all had the 4x4s, the G wagons, the Raptors, and everything. And he said he was going to go with the Lexus, and
The
everybody
Lexus,
didn't
yeah.
think the Lexus will make it.
Yes.
They didn't
Wow.
think the Lexus will make it.
But he
And funny
did.
enough, it's my Lexus. It's my car.
Well, your car is in England at the moment, girlfriend.
Yes, because my husband drives a huge car.
Right.
And it wasn't safe for him to use his car because he's raised. There's a lot of things that it's not good for the speed they were going for. So
Mm.
the best car in the house was the Lexus, and then I was like, if this Lexus comes back because of the mileage, I won't like it anymore. Not
No,
knowing my Lexus is going to be a popular Lexus.
it is really, really popular now, and it might not even
Yeah.
come back to you again.
It probably wouldn't. It probably
Wow.
wouldn't.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Someone says, I can imagine. I love driving. It's pretty fun, but driving for that long distance is crazy. Listening to one of the interviews, they mentioned driving 12 to 14 hours a day.
Mhm.
That is why I call it epic, because honestly, I don't think I can drive for that long. I went to Manchester over the weekend and I had to drive from where I live, Excess to Manchester. It's 4 hours drive. And even that, after every 2 hours, I stop at a service station to get out and stretch my legs and I continue again because I'm thinking 4 hours is just too long to sit on my bottom and just drive. So imagine somebody driving for 12 to 14 hours in a day.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
a long one.
a
I mean,
lot.
I hate to drive, and I even don't even like even Accra to Tema is a distance for me. If you invite me to Tema, it's like I'm traveling. I'm like, okay, when you come to Accra, I'll see you. So imagine that. I don't like long like travels in the car. I won't do
Yeah.
it. So it wasn't even an option for me to join my husband. Yeah, he knew I wouldn't even go, but we thank God they made it.
Yes, that's the
They were
most
hungry.
important
They
thing.
were hungry most of the time, and you know how men are. If you talk, they won't listen. I say
Mhm.
pack snacks. He won't pack snacks.
Because you talk too much. They will say, "Oh, you talk too much."
You talk
We know
too
what
much.
we're
So,
doing. We know what
yeah,
we're doing. That's
yeah.
that's the guys for you, isn't it? Wow. So did they have like medical staff on board? Were people that were like okay with first aids and stuff, or it was just them going?
They they did a lot of research, so they had like the minimum first aid they would need just in case, like the plasters and whatever they need. They had that. They made sure there was fire extinguishers in all the cars. All the cars had reflective jackets that just in case if
Right.
they had to stop on the way, they would wear those jackets. What else? The triangle and everything, they had it. And then they also calculated that there was a particular distance. I don't know which country, whether it was in Mali or so, but there was a country where from one fuel station to the other was a very long distance that if they filled their tanks, they still would not make it
Mm.
to the next station. So they carry jerry cans. My husband, because he was the one in the Lexus, the jerry can won't fit in there. So I think the Raptors had the jerry cans extra there. So when they get to the fuel stations, they fill their tanks and then they fill the fuel tanks, the jerry cans.
Americans as well. Yes,
Yeah,
because I
and
think on
then
one of
they
their
will refill
interviews,
it.
I saw them refilling the tank and they had them
Yeah.
jerry cans at the back of. Yeah. I
Mhm,
saw that.
mhm.
Wow, this is. I mean, come on. I think I shared on my Facebook. I said this is history, and someone said no, this is not history. And sometimes you don't really want to argue with people because I say that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So I just leave
That's
people
good.
up when they write stuff. But for me personally, I think that this is history. If not for anybody, for your son. Yeah,
Yes,
talking to you,
yes,
listen, I've got goosebumps all over me. For your
yeah.
son, I mean, looking at him, I think that this is that's why I use the word epic. It is really epic. It is amazing.
I'm,
It's
I'm very happy for him. I'm really, really
Of
happy for
course
him.
you should
His
be.
He's
Of
a
course he
humble
should
dude,
be.
and he's just taking it like that.
Mm.
Even when I say, you create a TikTok account so that I can make money out of it. He's like, mommy, you don't get money just like that. I'm like, we spent a lot of money on food, so at least let me recoup some. He's like, it doesn't happen just like that. He's just cool like that. He's a wonderful guy. And he's only 20. I don't know why people are giving different ages, but Quincy just turned 20. Yeah.
I see him as a young man, and whether he's
Mhm.
20 or he's 18 or 21, I
It's
mean, he's still made history. For me, that is how I see it. I see it as he's made history, even if not for anything, to be able to sit in the car for that long, driving along these other grown men, and
Mhm.
he with daddy just driving for, let's just use minimum of 8 hours a day,
I
stop
know.
somewhere, sleep, wake up early in the morning and continue again, trying to talk to you as and when they can, and then you're like, hey, I can't get through to you. What's happening? Are you guys all right? Are you guys okay? And then you hear from them, oh, we're cool. There was no signal along the way. And you're like, okay, all right,
Okay.
I'm okay now. So were you even able to sleep at all?
I did a lot of sleeping actually because they also slept at night. So that made it quite easy. They didn't drive at night. Usually, probably by 9 or 10 p.m., they would have settled into their hotel. We have video calls with all of them and then talk. So I'll be lying if I said I didn't sleep because they slept. They slept in hotels. So if they sleep,
Yeah,
I
so you
sleep.
could see.
Yeah. And
It says
then
I was lying if I said I didn't sleep.
no, I
Sleep
slept.
is important. Yes,
And then
sleep is
by the
important.
time I wake up, I'm not a morning person, so I wake up very late. So by the time I
Mm,
wake up, my husband would have already sent a message saying we've left, we are on our
mm.
way. And then probably about a couple of hours when they take a break, I will hear from him again. So it was kind of smooth. It wasn't that bad, honestly speaking. I think the only time we were very frustrated was when they were crossing from Mauritania. They were delayed for almost 9 hours. My son was hungry. And the reason was very petty because two other cars had tinted their cars. And
Oh,
so they won't let them cross. I mean, I didn't think it was a big deal. So
yeah.
the driver said, okay, we'll take the tins off. So they took the tins off, and then they still said they were going to seize the cars for 48 hours before releasing it. And so
Oh,
that was the only, yeah, that's what happened. So fortunately enough, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody.
somebody.
So they made a few calls and all that. And then finally they made them go. But it was a waste of 9 hours at the border without food, drink, water, or
Oh
anything.
my
So
goodness. 9
mhm.
hours is quite a long
It's
time.
quite a long time. Yeah.
That is Africa for you. Oh, there'll always be
Yeah.
somebody that wants to prove a point, the thing that, okay, I'm in charge here anyway. So, well, apart from all that, I'm so glad that at least now they've been able to come to their destination. And
Mhm.
looking at them all over the weekend, and I was watching the Ghanaians hailing them. I'm thinking this is beautiful, and I'm
It
really
is.
glad that at least the Ghanaian community in London, especially, are so excited. I mean, like, hey, my people have done something good. And yesterday, listening to the High Commissioner's speech, he says you can be in Ghana, but you can conquer globally. And I think that was a profound statement, because you
Yes.
hardly hear people. I don't think that anybody will just, you see, when God gives a man an idea, and I've said this over and over again for those of you who know me very well, I said there is nothing as dangerous as a man with an idea. And when somebody has an idea and they put the idea into practice, there's no stopping them. And that's
Not at
exactly
all.
what your husband and the crew have done. They had an idea to drive, to raise money, and it's exactly what they've done. And this is beautiful. Honestly,
Thank you.
trust me, it is beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. Carl, yes, I know. Oh, hi, Carl. So, Carl says, through it all, God has been good. Absolutely,
Yes,
God
he
has
has.
been so,
Yes,
so,
he
so,
has.
so good.
And we are super grateful. It could have gone different ways. So we're very, very grateful. It could have. I mean, we are all human beings. Sometimes you're like, so what will happen? What will happen? Yeah, but we're very, very grateful. We didn't think it would be as big a deal as it is. Yeah. But I'm surprised. And I want to say thank you to everybody who is sending good wishes, who wished us well. Even the negative people, it is still okay.
It's still okay. The good, the bad, the ugly, they all work together.
It's still okay.
For me, honestly, when I was listening to all these and then getting all the negative feedbacks, I'm like, okay, if you can do it, why don't you do it? And well, my husband was like, well, it's not everybody that will celebrate you. And so the naysayers, let them just be negative. Let them
it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay. I mean, those of us that are celebrating. And you know the funny thing, Sharon, I keep telling people, Franklin and Quincy, they are my friend's family. I was telling someone like, oh my God. The first time someone was talking about Franklin, said, oh, Franklin is really cool. I said, oh, my friend Sharon. I'm like, it's like a body B, that kind of a thing. I'm like, oh no, my friend Sharon.
Right.
That's my friend Sharon's husband. I was so excited. And then the person said, oh, they're with the son as well. And before, I didn't know Quincy was there. I just thought it was your husband that was going. And so he said the son as well. And I'm thinking, oh, really? And so that was when I got really involved in the whole thing. And so I kind of like followed them from when they left, was it Mali? Was when I really got interested, because I was like, okay, if it's the two guys that are going, then let's just follow the journey. And then when they get here, we'll see how it all ends. And so I was just so excited. All right, there's a question here for you. Like, before I get carried away, there's a question here. It says, will they come back by road or are they flying back?
Oh, they're flying back, but I think you're all flying back different dates.
Yeah.
I think this weekend will end the official thing, and then some of the guys are going to Dubai. Some of them I think that one or two of them have family in the UK, will stay there for a while. My husband definitely is coming next week. My son is coming this weekend because he has to fly out for uni.
Yeah.
So the cars will be shipped. Yeah, the cars will be shipped, and then they are all flying down. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Felicia says, oh, I was telling people Sharon is a real mom, and I know her. Absolutely, she's a real mom.
Thank you. I'm a mother of three.
A mother of three amazing, beautiful children. And so I'm sure that she was overwhelmed, and everything. You were excited, you were overwhelmed, you were confused, you were happy, you're sad, all the emotions that can go through you, I bet they went through you. Wow. Honestly, listen, guys, I said to Sharon, we're going to have just 30 minutes conversation, because I'm sure people are calling, and you can tell her phone hasn't stopped ringing since she's been on. And so we're just going to stick to half an hour. We wouldn't go further. I have questions, but I wouldn't ask. Okay, let me just ask Araba's one. Araba says that, how are you going to behave when you see your husband and your son come home?
I don't know. Luckily enough, they are coming to different dates. So
okay.
my son is coming over the weekend, and then my husband will come next week.
The week after. Okay. So Araba, that has answered your question. She doesn't know how she's going to behave yet.
I don't know. But all I know is big hugs. And then, my husband has been away for 3 weeks, so there's a lot of catching up.
Hey, you need to refill the tank. The tank is empty.
There's a lot to do.
Guys, listen, this weekend and next weekend, please don't call Sharon. Let her rest. Next weekend, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, so nobody can get through.
I wish.
Sharon, I won't take more of your time, because I said to you half an hour, and we will stick to that half an hour. Felicia says very necessary, absolutely necessary, and so we will just leave it as it is. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and talk to me, and I'm so excited, and I'm so proud of your husband and your son, and of course you and your other children as well. I'm just so excited for you. I'm really glad.
I think you're more excited than me.
I was telling you this morning. I'm so excited. And the fun thing is, when anybody says anything about this adventure, I'm like, oh, you know Franklin and
I know her.
Yes.
Enjoy some.
I will.
What are friends for?
And this
Enjoy
afternoon,
some.
when I said to my husband, I'll be speaking to you. It's like, and let me say it in Twi and I bring it in English. It says, instead and draw one call now, one can't Franklin Quincy said, and I was like, I should have, but the distance from my house to the consulate is quite far. If not, I would have gone. I said, let's try and find a way of speaking to Sharon first. And if there's a way to get to Quincy and Franklin, we will do that. And just tell them that we're so proud of them. And I'm sure the whole Ghana community in the UK is also very, very proud of them. And so, Sharon, we won't take too much of your time. Thank you so much for talking to me. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the victory. Honestly, congratulations, girlfriend. God bless you. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, so that is it. We are so done. I said to Sharon, we're just going to have half an hour conversation. That's exactly what we've done. I've stick to my half an hour. I don't want to go beyond that. She's still enjoying the adrenaline. She's still enjoying the fun of it and all. Guys, this is so amazing. And I know they're raising funds as well. So please, if you want to support them, I should have asked before she went to, but I didn't. So please, if you want to support the charity they're raising funds for, please contact Sharon, and I'm sure she would help you or link you up to how to support it. Let's celebrate our own. Let's celebrate the victories. Let's celebrate with people that are doing stuff. Listen, the negativity is too much. People have done stuff. Let's celebrate them. Driving from Ghana into the UK, I call it an expedition. People call it adventure. People call it whatever, but it is epic, especially for a 20-year-old young university man. This is amazing. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening until I come your way again with another conversation on the Real Talk Table. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the rest of this month. The Lord bless you all. Bye-bye. Have a good evening. I love you all. Bye.